Okay, we are back. One Piece. No, we're talking about One Piece, but we're not talking about anything super in particular. We're just talking about the pace and the pace of Wano so far, and is Wano going to end this year? I get that question all the time. They're like, Brock, when do you think? I don't know. I have an idea. I have some idea of when I think the arc is going to end. It's funny because before Wano, a lot of people were excited to get to Wano. Then we finally get to Wano, then people are like, yo, when is this arc gonna end? You really can't make people happy. It's really difficult, but regardless, we're gonna talk about that today because there's kind of a new interview talking about this, and I agree. Like you guys, where I'm tired of talking about it, but just going by the pace of things, it's just a thing people like talking about. Like, when is an arc going to end? When are we gonna get the climax? Ooh, that's things people like talking about. So we're gonna dive into the interview. But first, because you're probably asking, when is this intro going to end? Sub to the channel. Sub to the channel. It ends right now. Drop a like as well. And also, we can't forget about Mr. Algo. Drop a comment for the algorithm, right? Mr. Algo helps us out a lot, so we gotta show him some love, right? But without further ado, let's talk about the current pace, Oda's current pace, because I don't know. I did make a video recently about Oda and taking breaks, so this isn't meant to be negative at all. This is not a shot at Oda and his pace. We're just talking about it. Some people do take shots at Oda for going so slow or One Piece being so long, but I'm like, I saw a meme, right? It was saying, we're going into One Piece, you're like, damn, it's 1,000 chapters. Then once you finally catch up, you're like, damn, it's only 1,000 chapters. That's literally what One Piece is. You go into it and it seems like a daunting task, but the more you read, the more you watch, you're like, can this just not end? Can we just keep it going, right? And at some point it's going to end. But for right now, let's talk about specifically Wano. And let's go to the new interview as reported by Arthur from the Library of Ohara. We will be referencing Arthur throughout the video because Arthur did put together a pretty nice document showing the things that Oda has said and the editors and how he's remained consistent throughout, right? Because the perception is Oda just says things, then he breaks his deadlines all the time, where for Wano is one that he said, because there's something, maybe this could be a rumor, I don't know, but I remember something saying that Wano or Dressrosa will forever be the longest arc in One Piece. Wano is already past Dressrosa. It's currently the longest arc in One Piece, so I don't know. But yeah, to this interview, Oda's former editor, Kohei Onishi, in an interview said he estimates One Piece to end in 4 to 5 years. This is consistent with Oda's estimate from roughly 8 months ago, as reported by Arthur. In September, there was an interview that Oda did that kind of, a lot of people talked about it, where he said One Piece is going to end in 4 to 5 years. So roughly around 2024, 2025. A lot of people did push that back just based off of COVID and the breaks that had to be taken for COVID, because there were additional breaks taken because, you know, measures had to be put in place so people can, you know, be safe. So people added like a year or two to it, probably 2026, 2027. And so that goes back to Wano, because Wano, I think, is one of the arcs that Oda has been waiting for a while to talk about or to draw, and he's even mentioned it. And you saw the hints of Wano sprinkled throughout the story and everything culminating at this point. And we see, you know, just the writing is on the wall that Wano is going to be a game-changing arc. Towards the end, the revelations that we find out, and even so far, it's been an explosive arc. But currently, with Oda's current pace, what's happening? Wano started around chapter 909, around there. We're in chapter 1013, going into 1014. And based on where the story is right now, where Luffy just got defeated by Kaido, there's going to be some time for Luffy to kind of get himself back acclimated, get himself back together. Now, Oda has been showing the fight throughout, so he could shorten the final clashes, but I think the back and forth between Luffy and Kaido is not just going to involve those guys. You're going to have to involve other people, because it's pretty clear Luffy is not ready to defeat someone like Kaido. There's been something flown around Twitter as well that people say that they don't think Luffy will ever be stronger than Kaido, which, you know, I'm not sure where I stand with that, because there are certain things that's been consistent throughout One Piece and throughout Luffy's battles is that he's going to be aided, right? With Luffy versus Blackbeard, you can make the argument that Luffy versus Blackbeard will be Luffy and others fighting against Blackbeard. But, you know, we'll talk about that another time. But the point of that is to say Luffy isn't ready. So more prep is needed for Luffy versus Kaido, or that finale. There's also the mention of Axe, and I'm talking about ACTS. I don't want to hear Axe. No, not me asking anything. People have had in their minds that is going to be 5 acts, right? I guess people are referencing the Kabuki play. So 4 or 5 acts, people keep referencing that. I'm like, bro, based on what I've seen, there may be 4 acts, maybe. But let's say there are 5 acts. Is Wano going to end in 2021? No. But I think disregarding these acts, let's look at the story. We're currently fighting Kaido. We're also fighting Big Mom. Bro, not one fight has been concluded. Not one. And a fight that we thought was approaching its climax just got reset. Luffy versus Kaido. So far this year, we've gotten 13 chapters, because chapter 1000 technically came out in 2021. So probably towards the middle to the end of June will be around 15, 16 chapters. So for the year, you can assume we get 30 to 32 chapters. So the pace is typically 30 to 35. So the question you have to ask yourself, could Wano end in 15, 16 chapters? I don't see it. For some of the other battles, right? Like the Marco versus King, what's going on in the live floor, Who's Who versus Jinbei. We can't forget the Black Maria stuff, Law, Kid, Big Mom. There's so many different things going on in Wano. Even with CP0 being there are going to be some chapters dedicated towards the epilogue as well. So based on the current pace, I predict that Wano could end the middle of 2022, March to May. Around there, we're gonna get towards the epilogue because Oda is going to, I think, take his time with explaining not only Oden's logbook, but what's gonna transpire post Wano, because this is one of the first times, I guess recently post Timeskip, that we don't have a plan. Like there isn't anything that we have definitely planned after Wano. So it's completely a mystery until an editor comes out and says, hey, are you excited for Elbath? That's the next, hopefully that doesn't happen like it did in Whole Cake Island, where we all assumed we were going to Wano. They said as much. People were waiting there, but it was just like, let's wait till the arc ends before we do that. In this situation, I think Wano ends 2022. Now, towards the end of the story, because there's some speculation still that there could be another time skip. I don't know. I don't see it. If Oda wants to end the story in 5 years, he has to cover so much. Basically, the next couple arcs, they're going to be maybe a year and a half, 2 years. So for instance, Elbath, that's gonna have to be like Zoe, like the length of Zoe, if not shorter, because we have to cover the Shanks and Blackbeard stuff. But before that, you have to cover the Luffy Shanks stuff. So Luffy has to meet Shanks again, I'm assuming right after Wano. Then past that, we get the Shanks and Blackbeard stuff, and then we transition into the Revolutionaries, the World Government, Sabo, Vivi, Imu-sama. Then we're getting towards the end game stuff, the Final War stuff, which I assume Oda wants to put at least 2 years into the Final War, or the Final War / the ending, the epilogue, like the final moments of One Piece, at least 2 years, right? So based off of that, we assume Elbath, and then going into the Final War, One Piece, I think accurately ends around 2026. I think that's when it's going to end. So we got about 5 years for Oda to wrap all of this up. Now, what's gonna happen is that Oda's not going to touch on everything he wants to by 2026. I guess what's gonna happen? Vivid cards, SBSs, specials, and possibly some one-offs, right? Where some one-shots based on different characters, but not necessarily a continuation of One Piece. Personally, I don't think Oda would ever have anyone else continue his story, because I think he wants to enjoy the rest of his life. He's already 46 by the time it ends, to be around 51, 52, and the man wants to enjoy his life. He's dedicated so much time to the story, we got to give him that. Personally, what I would like for One Piece to go on forever, right? Where Oda doesn't necessarily draw everything, but he's still involved, giving hints, maybe a two-piece, maybe continuing some things that we haven't seen. A prequel with Roger would be amazing. Maybe Oda takes a break or two off, then he goes into the prequel. Now the thing is, the prequel could be 50 chapters. It doesn't have to be that long because we're visiting places we've seen before. It would be really difficult for Oda to continue One Piece after Luffy's journey, because Luffy carries One Piece. Luffy is the main focus of it, and how many people would care if Luffy isn't a part of this journey anymore? If it's focused on Shanks' kid or Momonosuke, for instance. We don't know, or maybe Pez, I don't know. But guys, give me your thoughts. Based on Oda's current pace, I mean, I don't think the time skip is possible, but based on his current pace, when do you see Wano ending? When do you see One Piece ending? And what are your expectations for such? Because I'm excited, but then I'm anticipating myself being very sad towards the end when it's like, yeah, we got two chapters left of One Piece. That's going to be a scary time. But one thing that you have to prepare yourself for is that it's going to happen. And it's going to be a countdown, like 2 chapters left of One Piece, guys. This is it. This is it. This weekly experience is over. But, guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Guys, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost.